8 weeks of college football down, kind of, sort of, for some programs. But it was a very, very fun weekend, especially having the Big Ten back. I'm from Big Ten country, and now I'm like a Big 12 transplant, so I'm starting to fall way too in love with football down here, and I needed to see a little bit more of that Northeast, Midwesty action again. It was a very fun weekend. Let's jump into the recap. Off with that Friday night opener, Illinois at Wisconsin, and the story of that night was Graham Mertz playing like he wants to be the best quarterback in the Big Ten. Not quite there yet, but could be by the time it's time for him to graduate. Had a perfect first half, tried to continue it, but didn't through the rest of the game. Came pretty close though. And another guy I noticed in that game, tight end Jake Ferguson, looks like his favorite target on that team. Excited to see how that chemistry continues to build. Obviously, I heard the potential COVID news from Graham Mertz. We'll see what happens there. Again, can't speculate or anything like that. But an overall, nice little opener from Wisconsin there. We might see a Jack Cohn transfer if he keeps that up. Not sure, but something I'm keeping my eye on. One of the premier matchups of the weekend, Nebraska at Ohio State. Starting with the Huskers. I really liked the packages I saw with Luke McCaffrey. I didn't realize that he was at Nebraska. And apparently that quarterback race was pretty close with him and Adrian Martinez. We also saw some Adrian Martinez mobility. So I'm excited for what else we get from that offense and to see them through the rest of the season. Obviously, they're not maybe on Ohio State level, but I still think they could be a competitive football team. I think the defense had a couple plays to slow down Ohio State, maybe in the first drive or so, until Ohio State found their groove. But it was still a nice. I don't think they looked pathetic out there by any means. As far as Ohio State, though, they looked good. Obviously, Justin Fields hitting his wide receiver perfectly in stride. It just looked like a professional quarterback out there on the college stage throwing the ball. I can't wait to see what else we get from him this season. But the main takeaway I got, especially from this offense, was that they almost looked a little rough around the edges, a little unpolished, they have another gear to kick it in, and I want more out of them to really see them as a playoff and championship team, right? But I think we're going to see that out of this team. The Jackson Smith and Jigba catch, they definitely have some pieces going there. I just can't wait to see them all kind of really start cooking as the season continues to go on. Michigan at Minnesota. On the Wolverine side of things, I like how they were going with a running back by committee type of thing, with even 4 guys there. So maybe a different approach there this year. Their defensive line completely dominating the Gophers O-line was one of the bigger things that stood out to me in this game. And then again, on the other side in the trenches, the offensive line, they talked about a ton on the broadcast, kind of being newly assembled, some younger guys, but able to hold down the fort. I'm very curious how they win or lose games in the trenches now going forward, because it seems like both of those sides are strong there. So maybe this Wolverines team is different than what we're used to from past years. Joe Milton, I don't really have many big takeaways. I wanted to see this big star showing, but I don't think this was the game for that. I'm excited to see him throughout the rest of the season. As far as the Gophers, not the team that I remember with so much juice from last season. I hope that they find that again. This was a bit of a different showing from them. So I guess my main takeaway is I don't know if Michigan is just now that good, if they're as good as they've always kind of been hyped up to be, or if this Minnesota team is just not as good as we remember, or kind of fell flat in this first game of the season. Lots more to see there. That is it. That's all I've got for you guys. Clearly, I had my eyes on a lot of Big Ten football this week, and I was really excited to see it back. But I do have some Big 12 thoughts. The Iowa State-Oklahoma State game, my big takeaway from that was, one, that Oklahoma State defense looks good, and maybe they are a true championship contender. So it now makes me more excited, one, for Bedlam this year, Oklahoma State versus Oklahoma, and also because I'm still what is this K-State team doing? So I need to see that matchup, Oklahoma State versus K-State, a little bit later in the season. I'm excited about that. I never thought I would see the day. And we have to talk about that thrilling end, Penn State versus Indiana. I mean, it was ruled in, but that Michael Penix reach was one of the most nail-biting moments I'd ever seen. That was very interesting. I'm a Rutgers alum, so shout out to Rutgers for getting their first big win. That was so nice in, I think 21 games, I think was the stat in the Big Ten. So hopefully Coach Schiano, I've heard so many positive things about him in the past. Hopefully he is back and the right man for the job once again to get this team back on track. That's always fun to see. From your alma mater, right? Those are all of the takeaways I've got for you guys this week. I will see you tomorrow with my Week 8 recap for the Week 8 preview for the NFL, and then I'll be previewing Week 9 of college football. We are just rolling right on through. Thank you guys for all of your support. Make sure you like and comment and subscribe. I will talk to y'all really soon.